Waynesburg University's president held a news conference this week.
And Relay for Life is just around the corner. Welcome to Channel 14 News. I'm Sam Hickson.
And I'm Emily Bennett. Did you know Waynesburg University students typically graduate with much less student loan debt than students who attend public institutions? University President Doug Lee spoke with students about financial aid and state funding at a news conference this week. He pointed out that each year the state of Pennsylvania dishes out more than $2 billion to support higher education, but most of that money goes to public institutions within the state system. Only $350 million a year is allocated for the students in the form of FIFA grants. The grants are awarded based on income. President Lee would like the state to increase that amount. He also pointed out that more than 60% of Pennsylvania college students choose to earn bachelor's degrees from private colleges. The average student graduates with roughly $37,000 of debt, but the average student debt for Waynesburg students is about $20,000 less. It's time to lace up your running shoes to raise money for the fight against cancer.
Relay for Life is happening Sunday, April 14th. The event is a national occurrence that raises money and awareness against cancer. Kelly Hardy is the woman leading the charge of the event.
So Relay for Life is the signature fundraiser of the American Cancer Society, but also to educate individuals about cancer and cancer research and all the different programs that exist under the umbrella of the American Cancer Society. This will be the 14th year that Waynesburg University has hosted a mini Relay for Life on campus.
Relay for Life is a fun time for students to come together and raise this awareness. There are multiple booths, games, and competitions that last the entire day.
So we have 24 teams this year at Relay for Life, so students can expect to see different booths with fundraising and education and awareness and games, as well as our traditional events like the Survivorship Lap, our Survivorship Hour, Luminaria Ceremony, our opening ceremony, and then we'll have different events happening on the main stage throughout the day from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m.
With all the planning finally coming to an end, the only thing to worry about now is Mother Nature.
So right now it'll be in Johnson Commons. Last year was the first year actually we ever had the event inside. So the old gymnasium is our rain site, and our captains vote at the last captains meeting on Thursday as to whether or not it'll be inside.
Reporting for Channel 14, I'm Luke Santucci.
Should Pennsylvania legalize recreational marijuana? It's a controversial topic. Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman came to Greene County to talk to residents and find out about what they think. Emily Bennett had the story.
Civility reigned here tonight in Greene County.
Greene County was the sixth stop on the 67-county tour for John Fetterman.
It's important that every county and every community gets to weigh in.
The community packed Alumni Hall on the campus of Waynesburg University to voice their opinions on the controversial topic of recreational pot use.
The room was, I would say, was really evenly split, and we had more undecideds than other rooms, and it was entirely pleasurable and fun and encouraging to have people in the same room with differing opinions sharing their reasons for being pro or con.
Everyone had the opportunity to step up to the mic and share their stories and beliefs. Some shared tragic stories about how drugs affected their families.
I've lost two brothers to drug overdoses. One cocaine and one heroin. How many of you can say that? And both of my brothers told me at an early age or a time as they moved forward that they weren't getting enough from marijuana. They wanted to move on.
I was a drug addict for 16 years, and I lost a lot of friends through that. And every one of them that I knew, including myself, started out on marijuana.
Others believe keeping it illegal only makes it more enticing for some users.
Not giving it to the people is a gateway drug. That introduces them to drug dealers who sell other drugs, and that's how people get addicted to other things.
Supporters of marijuana say it has the potential to generate millions in revenue.
Not only the taxes would help Pennsylvania, but also you got other decreased costs that a lot of people don't think about. I would say legal costs. You're not going to be able to put somebody in prison anymore for having a couple of joints.
But critics say they're just blowing smoke, and they doubt state officials will be able to keep it from becoming a widespread problem.
I don't trust that the state can safely regulate it.
I don't think it's worth the lives of young people.
The night ended with Fetterman asking for yeas or nays to give a visual confirmation of the crowd. Fetterman says this kind of feedback is crucial for Pennsylvania politicians who will soon decide if marijuana might be our next cash crop.
What I think isn't interesting, what everyone else in the room thinks is what's interesting.
Emily Bennett, Channel 14 News.
Putting food on the table can be a real struggle for some Greene County residents, but some local businesses are teaming up with Food Bank to fix that. Destiny Orndorff has the story.
Everyday fruits such as bananas, oranges, and even apples may be seen as a common snack for most, but for a lot of families, they're seen as treats. The Greene County Food Security Partnership is a task group comprised of individuals, businesses, and organizations who work together to try to end food insecurity in local communities. On the last Thursday of every month, Greene County residents and volunteers fill the Greene County Fairgrounds for the monthly event, Produce to People, right behind me. Thousands of households and local communities receive 30 to 50 pounds of fresh produce at absolutely no cost. This helps many families meet their food necessity needs every single month.
I think it's fantastic. It helps people who, some of them don't get food stamps, that, you know, when it comes to the end of the month, it gives them some food, some vegetables and stuff that they probably wouldn't be able to get.
Unfortunately, for a large majority of the families, this event is the only thing keeping food on their table. 14.4% of Greene County residents are currently living in poverty, and 12.9% of residents are food insecure. The Pittsburgh Food Bank says, quote, "Eliminating food insecurity and worry that goes with it is something we can all do together. By supporting the food bank, donors, volunteers, and everyone in the community, we can be part of a lasting solution for neighbors who are struggling."
Produce to People is here to help people that can't really afford the produce in the store because it is a lot higher than average. So when they come here, they're not sure what they're getting, but 9 times out of 10, it's a lot to help through the household. The food bank, we support 11 pantries, and the pantries help to feed almost 750 to 1,000 families just in Greene County, and we give perishable items to help accommodate through their household if they can't afford to go get food.
Multiple locations for Produce to People can be found across southwestern Pennsylvania in places like Sheridan, Newcastle, Duquesne, Butler County, McKeesport, and Fayette County. A full list can be found at pittsburghfoodbank.org. This is Destiny Orndorff reporting for WCTV News.
Waynesburg University is taking steps to protect students against sexual assault, and that was the focus of a recent meeting on campus. Peer leaders hosted Take Back the Night, an event that speaks about sexual assault. The event took place in preparation for April being Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It provides insight into assault and statistics behind it, in particular, sexual assault on college campuses. On every table, there was a paper using paper chain dolls explaining how men and women are impacted by sexual assault. The Me Too movement was explained during the event as well. There were several guest speakers, including members from the STARS Foundation. Students were also encouraged to write notes of hope on sticky notes in the back. At the end of the event, a video on what consent is was also shown to the audience. Food and beverages were provided for those in attendance. Honoring veterans of the Vietnam War, the VFW in Greene County wants to make sure they get some long overdue respect. Rachel Pellegrino has more.
Over 46 years ago, the last American combat troops withdrawn from Vietnam, the second longest war that the U.S. has participated in. I'm currently sitting on a replica war tank here at the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post in Greene County, where they're celebrating this special day by honoring those that served in Vietnam.
At this event, there's a moment of silence, a firing squad, taps, bagpipes, food, and a special speaker. This year's speaker is a Vietnam veteran, Don Keller.
They wanted me to talk about my experience in Vietnam from day one to the time I come home.
This was a tough topic for Keller to talk about. He was only 19 at the time and had spent most of his life where he was born and raised, Greene County. When he arrived in South Vietnam, he was given the job of a radio telephone operator and told that he only had a life expectancy of 28 days. However, he only remained with this group for 5.5 months when he got a call.
I got a call from a chopper coming in, says we have a replacement for you, and when it landed, the chopper pilot got me on the radio, and he says, "Give your radio, take everything off that belongs to you, and give it to this new guy."
On a chopper to replace a battalion RTO that had been killed. In this new position, he would be part of an 11-man reconnaissance team, which he stated,
I didn't want anything to do with it, but I had no choice.
The team lasted 4 months before 7 of its members were killed and the remaining 4 were seriously injured.
Shell went up through to my elbow. I had shot twice in the shoulder. I had shrapnel in my chest. I was hit in the face. I lost my left eye. Both my jaws were broken.
He spent a total of 8.5 months in the hospital before returning home to a very unwelcoming homecoming. Because people didn't honor the veterans back then, this event means a lot to people, especially Keller's wife, Karen Keller. A special thank you to all of our Vietnam veterans here at the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post in Greene County.
This has been Rachel Pellegrino reporting.
When we come back, we will have more local and campus news here on Channel 14.
When the weather is chilly, chili is the perfect comfort food. Several students, including Lachlan Loudon, recently got the chance to sample several varieties.
Chili. This wonderful food has sparked so much creativity in how it is made. With a small donation of $3 or by donating 3 hygiene products, you get to try all these interesting chilies and support a good cause.
So we decided to put this on to promote our kind of local charity we do for the local middle schools. We give them hygiene products. We did this during the homecoming week, and we are also continuing that now. So going on with the school years, we'll give them as much as they need. And I think so far we've done pretty well. We've gotten a lot of people just paid money, but we'll just go and use that money for hygiene products. And that'll go right towards the middle schools. We don't see any of that money. So that's sort of the charity we give back to the local area.
We have our choice of over 7 different types of chili, and as taste testers, we get to try them out for ourselves. We even got some students' input on their favorite chili.
I'd have to say the Pepper Perfect. It's got that perfect amount of like a salty tang. It really brings out a flavor. It satisfies urges.
I really like the Spice It Up chili because it had like a little hint of spice, but it also had a little bit of like vegetable flavors as well.
Once all the chili has been tasted, people vote on the chili champion. Well, my vote's in, and at 12:50, we'll find out who the winner of this chili cook-off is. Winning Best Chili in their respective categories, Pat Brister and Mary Wosner take home the Golden Trophy, also known as the Woo-themed kitchenware set, making the conclusion of the chili cook-off. Lachlan Loudon, WCTV.
For Catholics, Fridays during Lent mean one thing: fish. Our own Emily Bennett went to a local fish fry to see what else is on the menu.
St. Anne's Church in Waynesburg has been operating a fish fry since 2003.
The Catholics during Lent, on Fridays, is a non-meat day, so we figure if somebody's going to, feed them fish, it might as well be us.
They receive all of their fish from Pittsburgh Seafood and make everything else in-house.
Our cocktail sauce is handmade, homemade, tartar sauce homemade. The fish batter is our recipe. It's all homemade here.
They offer lunch and dinner every Friday during Lent. During lunch, they sell around 80 sandwiches for lunch takeout, and many more people from the community come in the doors for dinner.
The dinner, you come in, you get the fish, shrimp, pierogies, or whatever you want.
And discounts are offered for seniors and students. They now accept credit cards to cater to the university crowds. Their last fish fry will be held on Good Friday. Emily Bennett, Channel 14 News.
Waynesburg University students took a break from their busy schedules and participated in the Biscuit Brew in the Beehive. It wasn't your normal Biscuit Brew, as students got to paint Easter eggs. They also had the chance to get creative with ceramic ducks and Easter bunnies. Students could also get free coffee from Starbucks to keep them awake for their late-night studies. With the Easter-themed Biscuit Brew, it got everyone excited for Easter and excited for more Biscuit Brews in the future. Greene County has one of the largest historical society museums in the state. And if you've been there recently, you've probably seen a new face. WCTV's Brandon Rossi introduces us to the new director.
For over 300 years, the Cumberledge family has been connected to Greene County. And now Matt Cumberledge of Brave has been appointed as the director of the Greene County Historical Museum.
Well, on just the Cumberledge side of my family, I'm the 11th generation to live here. I've been an avid researcher my entire life. I love history. So I thought, this might be a good fit for me, something I could enjoy. So I tried it out and here I am.
One of those changes is turning the old boiler house into a library. The books remain in the building, but they also haven't left their boxes. Cumberledge has accepted volunteer help, mainly from two familiar faces.
I've been getting a lot of credit for that. That's actually been Kelly and Chris Hardy. They've been getting volunteers to come out and work on that. I have helped out a little bit, but they've been the ones driving that, and I'm super excited about it because we've got a lot of great old books and stuff out there.
The Greene County Historical Museum is set to open on April the 27th. Reporting for WCTV, I'm Brandon Rossi.
Waynesburg University hosted an honorable guest last week, and students learned a lot about the American justice system. The Stover Center for Constitutional Studies and Moral Leadership held Chief Judge Brooks Smith. The event was held in Alumni Hall. Students, faculty, and even President Lee gathered for the lecture. Smith is currently the Chief Judge of the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit. The Court of Appeals is the second highest court behind the Supreme Court in the structure of the federal judiciary. Judge Smith spoke to the students about the importance of upholding and protecting the rule of law. Judge Smith's Rule of 10 was the main learning point of the event, which not only discussed law, but also some life lessons. At the end of the lecture, Dr. Lawrence Stratton, who is also the director of the Stover Center, presented Smith with a challenge coin and a commemorative plaque. Students and faculty left Miller Hall inspired and full of knowledge. We're just 3 weeks away from final exams, and students here are feeling the stress. Some are also searching for summer jobs and internships. WCTV's Paul Zalakar has some tips for getting through it.
Happiness is when your thoughts, your actions, and behaviors all are aligned. They're in harmony. Congruence, because often that's what stress is. We think one thing and it's a different thing. And sometimes it's just a misunderstanding or it's not reality.
It affects everyone, but there is a common thread among college students. At some point, every student is overloaded with stress. Jane Owen, one of the Waynesburg University counselors, has witnessed it for a while.
In the 31 years that I have worked here, I've seen a lot of depressed and stressed out students. Research is showing that across the country in college universities that depression is going up.
Jane has seen many different issues such as roommate issues, lack of communication, relationship and family issues, plus grief. For freshman Riley Holsinger, he deals with a full schedule just like other classmates.
It's pretty hard being busy all the time and trying to figure out a way to manage all that.
Don't worry, there's plenty of different ways to cope and attack stress. Thinking positively and finding an enjoyable activity in your life are easy steps to take.
I was just loaded with work day after day, but normally what I try to do is I'll try to get to chapel on Tuesday. It'll make me feel a lot better about my week.
Plus, eating healthier.
Fruit's always my go-to food. I just feel a lot better after eating fruit.
If you are a student and looking for help, the counseling office is free to any student. They will work with you for career, academic, and personal counseling.
We really like students. So please, if you need us, email, call, walk in. We're on the 3rd floor, Stover.
One thing Jane believes has ties to an increase in stress includes technology. It affects everyone and not just students. Being glued to screens and worrying about social media is negative towards your stress levels.
Just be in the moment. Don't be in the past. Don't think too far in the future.
The easiest way for you to remain stress-free is take this, put it down, and make sure to get good sleep and turn off the lights.
Stay tuned for national news here on WCTV.
As I look around the campus of Waynesburg University, I don't see any clouds and I see a lot of students out and about on this 72-degree day. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. I'll give you that and more on your weather forecast.
A new investigation could soon get underway at the nation's capital. The top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee wants criminal investigations into at least 8 people for allegedly lying and misleading Congress. Congressman Devin Nunes told Fox News Sunday he was planning to send the criminal referrals to Attorney General William Barr this week. The referrals and requests for criminal investigations from the Justice Department and the FBI. 5 of the referrals are related to lying to Congress, misleading Congress, and leaking classified information. The other referrals include allegations of lying to the FISA court that approves foreign surveillance warrants and manipulating intelligence. Nunes did not say who he was targeting, but said there could be even more referrals on the way. Former Playboy model Kelsey Turner had an extradition hearing in Stockton, California on Monday in connection with the murder of psychiatrist Thomas Burchard. Turner is accused of killing Burchard and leaving his body in the trunk of a car in Las Vegas. The doctor was found dead on March 7th. Turner was arrested on March 21st. Her pregnancy has delayed extradition to Las Vegas. Burchard's connection to Turner is through a rent arrangement they had. He was paying for Turner and her mother's home in Salinas, where they received hundreds of thousands of dollars in warrants. In Burchard's murder were also issued for John Kinnison, Turner's boyfriend, and Diana Pena.
A shakeup at the Department of Homeland Security. President Trump tweeted, quote, "Secretary of Homeland Security Christian Nielsen will be leaving her position, and I would like to thank her for her service. And I am pleased to announce that Kevin McCleenan, the current U.S. Customs and Border Protection Commissioner, will become acting Secretary for Homeland Security. I have confidence that Kevin will do a great job," end quote. Senior administration officials say Nielsen had a meeting at the White House with Trump at 5 on Sunday afternoon. They say she was planning to talk with him about immigration and border issues as well as a path forward. One of the sources said she had no intention of resigning, but rather was going there with an agenda. Sunday night, Nielsen tweeted that she will stay through Wednesday, April 10th, to help with the transition. A new study is out linking air pollution to hundreds of thousands of deaths a year. The EPA defines particulate matter as the mix of solid and liquid droplets floating in the air in the form of dirt, dust, soot, or smoke. It can come from coal and natural gas-fired plants as well as cars, agriculture, unpaved roads, construction, and wildfires. The new study was published Monday in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. It linked air pollution exposure to more than 107,000 premature deaths in the U.S. in 2011 alone. According to the study, it cost the nation $866 billion. Rachel Pellegrino will have business and entertainment when we come back. Stay tuned.
Have you ever been to the Everly Library? If not, you should, because it's great. They have books of all different genres: history, biography, fiction. Try The Evolution of Life, Life of Pi, or Jurassic Park. So what if books aren't your thing? Try movies, like Frozen, or TV shows, like Lost. Books and DVDs aren't the only thing, though. Take a trip to the second floor. Welcome to the Writing Center. These tutors will tell you everything you need to know about writing a paper, and they'll help revise your essays. Now let's head back down. Behold, the Knox Learning Center. Need to print something out 5 minutes before your next class because you procrastinated? No problem. You can also print off pictures of dogs. Because, well, you can. So grab your homework, laptop, and textbook, and study diligently. Bring your lunch too. Actually, you can't. That's illegal. Now you know the Everly Library. Stop by anytime. Seriously, it's open all week.
For generations, Greene County families have been flocking to the Monview roller rink. Rachel Manigan recently rolled on over to check it out.
The Monview roller rink has been a staple of Greene County for decades. It was constructed in the early 1950s and is still operational today, nearly 70 years later. In 2007, though, the historic rink shut down for a period of time, but the county took the venue over and completed some restoration work to get it up and running again. One thing that remains the same from the original structure, the skating surface.
We had a company come in, completely strip it right down to the bare wood, and we started over again. And every 3 years we have a company come in and redo it to keep it nice the way it is.
Something that adds to the back-in-time charm of the Monview roller rink is that the only skates available to rent are the traditional quad roller skates.
Well, I tell you what, when we took it over, we had a few skates that were still good, and we had to buy them all. So we seen more of a need for the quad skates than we did the inlines. But if you have inline skates, you can bring them and use them. But our rental are all quads.
Some might say roller skating is an outdated activity, but the rink continues to draw in new people every week.
Well, I skated last weekend here, and then before that, probably about 14 years ago.
It attracts skaters of all ages, and for many, the decision to try something new is one that's spur of the moment.
My friend, she came last week, and I had the night off work.
One thing that helps the Monview roller rink continue to be a success is that Greene County isn't known for having very much to do in terms of places for students and young adults to hang out.
There's nothing else. Right now in the wintertime, for a teenager, you can see there's not a whole lot, to do. If you don't want to go to the mall, go shopping, go out to eat, it gets them together.
The roller rink fills that void even for those who aren't as sure-footed.
You'll notice some of the kids, they don't have skates on. They're just hanging out with their friends.
Greene County is a quaint area that seems to have many unique charms that seem like a blast from the past. It's home to general stores, drive-in movie theaters, and a traditional roller rink.
We want to tell you about some special programming this week on our campus radio station, WCYJ. Luke Santucci has more details on the upcoming broadcast.
The 24-hour radio broadcast kicks off at 8 a.m. this Thursday. WCYJ has been the kingpin for raising the most amount of money over the past couple of years.
For the past couple of years, I'm not sure how many years now, but for the past at least several years, CYJ has raised the most money out of all the organizations for Relay for Life, and that typically comes from putting on the 24-hour broadcast. So it's a really great opportunity for us to kind of have fun together and also raise money for a great cause.
Everyone who's a part of WCYJ is encouraged to be a part of the broadcast. The broadcast showcases student-created specialty shows of all genres.
But what kind of goes into it is it's pretty straightforward. I mean, everybody kind of knows that it's happening. It's kind of been a campus-wide event for quite a while now. But usually I like to organize all the specialty shows to have a segment during the 24 hours. So, your favorite shows like the Love Lounge will be on, Sports in the Berg will be on, Down the Hollow will be on, all the CYJ classics will be on at some point during those 24 hours to kind of do a specialty version of that show.
It is not mandatory to stay up all night, but some take the challenge anyways. However, if you're the general manager of the station, sleeping is not an option.
I'm excited to be the new general manager of WCYJ-FM, and for the 24-hour broadcast, I will be in there for the most part. I have to work the telethon and then have a few other obligations, but I'll be in there, and I'm looking forward to that. As the assistant general manager this year, I'm kind of Luke's second in command, so I'll be there the entire time with him to just bear the brunt of the whole 24 hours being in the radio station. It's going to be tough to stay awake the entire time, but hopefully I'll be able to do it. I'll have to find some ways, and many people will be in there, so I think I'll be able to do it.
Reporting for WCTV, I'm Luke Santucci.
Waynesburg University students danced the night away at this year's Spring Fling Formal. WCTV's Megan Cook was there.
Friday night was a chance for college students to dress up, apply makeup, style their hair, put on their dancing shoes, and attend the biannual semi-formal dance at the Lakeside Party Center in McClellantown. Due to scheduling conflicts, the Waynesburg University event was upgraded to the larger room for the same price. Although the dance occurs each semester, for some, the event is a new experience.
I have never been able to come before because it's always been in the middle of musical season, but this year my entire friend group was coming and I got my boyfriend to come with me, and I'm just excited to have fun.
Others are more seasoned attendees, revisiting even after transferring to another school.
It's an opportunity that I can see everyone again, and I love that. It's good to be able to see people like twice a year.
To capture the moment, some got photos before leaving campus, while others took photos at the scenic venue. There was also a photo booth with a variety of costume accessories. Students appreciate a break from on-campus activities, particularly the routine of the CAF food menu.
It's good food, and I want to spend time with the girl I love.
And of course, the dance would not be complete without upbeat music and line dances. Although it was raining outside, it did not deter the party inside. For WCTV, I'm Megan Cook.
A brand new entertainment venue recently opened in our region. Ed DiOrio and several other students swung by Top Golf to check it out.
What you see behind me is a typical golf course. 18 holes, takes about 4 hours. But what if I told you that you could get an extraordinary golf experience with less driving, less putting, and less of a medium game? That's where the Waynesburg University Student Activities Board comes into play. They took a group of students to the newly formed Top Golf in Pittsburgh. It is an arcade-like experience for golfers. There's different targets on the range, and you get a variety of balls, 3 to 10, somewhere between there, and you just play games within each bay. Luke Carter, the man behind the operation, behind the planning of going to this facility, talks about the experience that Top Golf brings for students.
It's basically like, I always, when people ask what Top Golf is, I kind of compare it to bowling. So it's a lot like skill, but you also have to kind of plan how to do things, and you can play different games. And it just gives a little more kind of uniqueness to an event that we usually don't do, and it kind of gives a different group of people to go to an event.
Whether you've been to Top Golf or not, this was some students' first times, including sophomore sports broadcasting major Dylan Cleland.
It was my first trip to Top Golf. It was the first time I tried something like that. I've golfed before, and I'm kind of a casual golfer. I'll golf through the spring and summer months, typically a few times each. However, like I said, first time there, it was a little bit of a different golfing experience, but it was nice to get out there and check out the bays, learn how the games and the point systems worked, and be able to shoot the ball around. And honestly, I didn't do half bad. I was kind of surprised at myself.
While Top Golf was fun, sophomore Will Purbaugh explains how the Waynesburg University Student Activities Board brings a variety of opportunities to the students.
For me, SAB represents a chance to branch out from just the main campus here at Waynesburg. It gives you an opportunity to interact with maybe some people that you don't see on a day-to-day basis. It gives students an opportunity to experience events that maybe they haven't before. It rounds out your Waynesburg experience.
Now that SAB's opened up this experience for you, would you go back?
Absolutely. I honestly think it might be worth paying full price if you go with a good group of friends.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. The SAB event at Top Golf was a great experience. Absolutely, I'll go back.
I had a blast. Everybody involved had a blast. Everybody in my bay had a blast. And I'm sure that Luke Carter will make another trip as soon as he can to Top Golf in Pittsburgh. For WCTV, I'm Ed DiOrio.
That's all for business and entertainment. Mitch Montani will have a sports update after this.
It's a beautiful day in the Okay, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to tell you that it is an absolutely gorgeous day outside. Clear skies, not one cloud in the sky. You can't ask for anything better than this, especially in early April. Currently 72 degrees outside right now. The low not going to dip too far down as well. We're still looking about the low 40s at 42 degrees to be exact, but still a pretty nice day if you ask me. Now tomorrow, it's not going to be quite as nice. There's going to be a few clouds in the sky. The temperature is going to dip down to 61 degrees, but still nothing to complain about, especially considering the weather that we've gotten over the past couple of weeks. And the low will also be 43. That's your weather forecast for the next 36 hours. Coming up, I'll have your 5-day weather forecast.
Hi, I'm Mitch Montani with WCTV Sports. Division III week wrapped up on Waynesburg University's campus. It is celebrated every year nationwide in every D3 school. Its goal is to build a greater awareness of Division III athletics. Waynesburg held an event on each day of the week. They kicked off the week with Sports Trivia Night, which was held in the Beehive. Students got into groups to compete against each other, trying to tally the most points. On Tuesday, students were able to write cards to service members in the dining hall. Wednesday held 2 different events, a refreshment table and then a 3-on-3 co-ed basketball tournament held in both gyms in the field house. Students had fun facing off in some competitive fun. Thursday brought more action with a coaches versus athletes volleyball game. The coaches managed to sneak out a win over the players. As the week started to come to a close, students were able to pie their coaches and athletic trainers for $1. The money was donated to Active Minds. The week ended with the first Woo ESPYs. It was an awards ceremony celebrating the achievements and individuals in Waynesburg sports. Some of the big winners included wrestling as the team of the year and Jake Evans and Andrea Orlowski as male and female athletes of the year. Waynesburg will hold another D3 week next year. On to Waynesburg University sports. The Waynesburg baseball team swept the Chatham Cougars in 3 games over the weekend. On Saturday, the Jackets won both games of a doubleheader at Chatham, 10-7 in Game 1 and 7-5 in Game 2. Though he allowed 5 earned runs, Mason Miller collected his 5th win of the season, going 6 innings and striking out 8 batters. Ty Wickline won the 2nd game of the Twin Bill, lasting 6 innings and allowing 5 earned runs for his 5th win of the season. Justin Buberl led the charge for the Jackets on the day, scoring 3 runs and collecting 4 RBIs. Tyler Godwin went 5 for 7 with 3 RBIs as well. On Sunday, the Jackets had their toughest task in a 9-inning game and series finale at home. Waynesburg took the Sunday game 3-2. Trailing 2-0 going into the 9th inning, the Jackets were able to tie it and eventually win it in the 10th inning. The sweep puts Waynesburg in 2nd place in the President's Athletic Conference. They sport an 8-4 record at exactly the halfway mark in PAC play. The Jackets are in the midst of a conference doubleheader right now at Grove City, who came into the day 4th in the President's Athletic Conference. Over the course of the past 3 seasons, the Waynesburg baseball team has depended on contributions from catcher John Presbolinski. Sam Hickson found out a little more about the junior captain for the Yellow Jackets.
John Presbolinski, or better known around campus as JP, knew he loved the game of baseball at first sight.
If I could take it back to a moment, it would probably be when I was in Little League, because I throw right-handed, so they had me on the right side of the plate, and I always switched my hands up on the bat to the lefty grip, and then they said, well, let's just try this, and they put me on the right side, and I switched my hands back and said, you're going to break your wrist. They said, just flip them to the other side, and ever since then, I think it almost clicked for me that, wow, this is baseball.
It was playing time at first sight as well when Coach Mike Humiston decided to take a chance on JP in his freshman year, and JP never looked back.
Honestly, man, it's a great deal of respect for all the coaches on the staff, from everyone. You know, they just do what they do day in and day out. Managing me, you know, I came in as a freshman, ended up being blessed to start 17 games, I believe, and that was awesome. You know, and then just, you know, this year Perry's actually letting me call my own game for the first time since I've been here. So I'd say that's a pretty good progression from him.
Like every other student athlete, JP had to go through an adjustment period when he first arrived at Waynesburg.
I can't really say that there was a whole lot of difficulty in that move, sports-wise. Now, my freshman year, second semester, my first semester balancing grades in baseball in college was my worst semester grades, but you know, you bounce back and you learn what you have to do to maintain those after that.
It was a heck of a Florida trip for JP. He finished with a .478 batting average and 7 RBIs in 9 games. It must be something in the water, or the air in JP's case.
Honestly, man, it's just getting back into the groove of things, you know, treating that warm Florida weather as best as you can down there with the bats, especially because, I mean, you come up here and it's cold and the ball doesn't fly like it does down south for sure, but, you know, just getting back into the swing of baseball, seeing live pitching a lot, being in that game mindset.
But even for a hitter like JP, you can't always be in the good graces of the baseball gods.
Man, I've looked up every way in the book to get out of those things. You just have to keep hitting the ball, you know. I've been squaring some up recently, but they just keep landing in leather mitts. I can't help it, you know. Just got to keep hitting them.
Sometimes it gets hard to remember that baseball is a game within a game. For JP, the mental aspect is greatly underappreciated.
It's all that's what makes baseball to me. It's all the cat and mouse games that you see in the in like the fans don't see, but you see playing, you know, like me catching. You see a guy get a lead off of first base. The difference of him running or going is if he holds his hand still or wiggles his fingers, you know, and you're just waiting to make that call in your head. Am I throwing an outside fastball or, you know, a curveball in the dirt, just based on what his hand motions are, lead after lead.
Even more so, it's the attention to detail that gets an avid baseball watcher like JP going. Details that JP sees in catcher Yadier Molina's game that he wants to emulate.
If I could say one player that I watch a lot and try to model after would be Yadier Molina. Just one of the things, you know, just like presenting pitches when you're on that outer corner of the plate, and he'll just set up this way, and then when the pitch is coming in, he'll sway in, and that body motion is just enough to make an outside pitch here look like it's here. And it's just little things like that I try and pick up on.
While Waynesburg's baseball team has surpassed their win total from last year already with 11, JP knows there's another level they can get to.
Honestly, man, I'd like to make it to 20 wins this year. That's a realistic goal for me. You know, we've put in the work. We're dangerous. We're more dangerous than people are giving us credit for. But yeah, I'd like to get it. I'd like to get a little 20 piece in there this year.
JP has his routine that he goes through much like every other player before a game. But is he superstitious?
You know what, man? It depends. I'm kind of superstitious to the point where, like, right before I go up to bat, but not to the point where I'm, like, putting on my left shoe before my right shoe, like that kind of stuff. But, yeah, a little bit, I'd say.
Maybe he's just a little more superstitious than he lets on.
Look at the custom batting gloves here. No thumb. Thumb out.
Thumb out, huh?
Thumb out. That's how you got to roll. This one unstrapped, thumb out. Right there.
How long you had those?
This would be... I just got them this season, so however many games we played, 22.
You cut the thumb out anyway?
22, had to cut the thumb off. Had to cut it. This one's next. Right there, that one's next coming.
He really knows how to bring along the young guys. He has a really great personality. He's really outgoing, you know. He just knows how to get the guys going, too. He's a guy you like to rally around.
Fun to be around. He always brings a lot of energy to the field. He's a great vocal leader, and he's just a great teammate all around.
Yeah, I told you. Ride or die, that's my dude, 100%. Yeah, is that much else to say?
Overall, JP has been very valued as a captain, a leader, a player, and a friend on this baseball team. They will get to enjoy one more year of him after his junior season, and the last ride is sure to be a special one. For WCTV, I'm Sam Hickson reporting.
When we come back, we'll have more about recent sports in Waynesburg.
This is the Waynesburg University Sports Network, where communication students come together to hone their skills on becoming professional workers and someday work for the pros. And if you've never seen our content before, then let me tell you, I think you're missing out.
Season. Here's Frank Bozovic. Bozovic, the lob to Smith and the slam! Oh, baby, Brennan Smith! Porter's red hot. Porter pulls up, and she pulls up for three. Oh, my goodness!
Put her down towards the end of that half, Antonio, as we see a couple of...
To see all this and much more, be sure to follow us on the official Waynesburg University Sports Network Twitter account. Click the link and enjoy previous games, and be sure to click on the notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on all of your favorite Waynesburg University sports all year round.
The Waynesburg softball team had a busy weekend, going 1-3 in a 4-game stretch against PAC opponents. The Jackets split a pair of games against Grove City at home and then followed it up by being swept by St. Vincent. Emma Kubalak and Courtney Messinger, who collectively pitched all 28 innings in 4 games, surrendered 24 total runs. The best hitter for the Yellow Jackets up to this point in the season remains Rachel Scahn, who is batting .409 with 10 RBIs in 21 games. The team is 2-4 to start conference play with 10 games remaining, including today. They're in the middle of a PAC doubleheader as we speak at the Chatham Cougars. The Waynesburg men's tennis team moved to 2-1 in PAC play over the weekend after beating Westminster at home 7-2. The Jackets took 4 out of 5 singles matchups and then 2 out of the 3 doubles matches in the win. The duo of Jonah Cooper, Josh Denham won their match 8-0, and the Brian Drake-Tanner McKnight combination won 8-2. Brian Drake and Connor Cassidy each swept their singles matches for the Jackets and did so in lopsided fashion. Waynesburg is in the middle of a matchup with Grove City on the road as we speak. Both the men's and women's track and field teams for Waynesburg competed at the Dave Labor Invitational at Slippery Rock on Saturday. For the men, Silas Mays finished 7th out of 61 runners in the 800 meters as the headline. The women's team was led by Tegan Simonton, who finished 2nd in the 5,000 meters. No team scoring was recorded for the day as the PAC championships inch closer. The next event for both teams is Saturday when they travel north for the Westminster Invitational. The Waynesburg women's lacrosse team fell at Bethany on Saturday 14-5, marking the 40th consecutive loss for the team, dating back just to 2016. The team is now 0-9 overall on the season and 0-2 in the PAC. They're taking on Ohio Valley today in a non-conference matchup, marking their 10th match of the season. Though spring is a time for less physical sports, concussions remain a prominent issue. In the world of athletics, Hugh O'Neill has more.
It is important to watch out for some of these symptoms after taking a blow to the head. All athletes at Waynesburg University are required to take the impact concussion test. After a head injury, athletes take this test and their concussion results are used to diagnose the severity of the concussion. Head trainer Andy Palco is very involved in the concussion protocol.
It's a neurocognitive design test to see if there's any deficiencies. And once they clear that, then we're cleared from the position and we're allowed back into full participation.
Not every concussion is the same. One athlete's symptoms can be vastly different from another's. Jalen Coyne Martinez remembers the hit well. The next few seconds, however, are still hazy. This incident happened during a game.
I went up for a rebound and some guy pushed me and I hit my head off the floor. And then the light started to hurt my eyes and then I got a really bad headache and then everything started to get blurry, so then I went to the hospital.
Whether it's basketball, football, or wrestling, all athletes are at risk. Coach Gennaro Bonaventura suffered a hard hit against the mat.
I did remember the day and where I was, but I didn't really know why I was there, kind of. And then the light was really bothering me bad.
It is extremely vital to get checked out by an athletic trainer or a doctor after a blow to the head. Also important to use the proper protection. The Waynesburg University football team has helmets that measure the impact of the force.
So if they sustain a hit that registers a certain threshold, my staff and I become alerted through a handheld device, and that alerts us to the severity of the impact, the intensity of the impact and the location of the impact.
If you're experiencing any concussion-like symptoms, the athletic training staff will gladly check you out and help you get back to normal. Hugh O'Neill, WCTV News.
Switching to local sports, Carmichael's Area High School held a charitable event with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hugh O'Neill was there to see it.
Many of the Steelers traveled tonight to Carmichael's not to play a game of football, but to play a game of basketball, all for charity against the Carmichael staff. Even though the team is in the off-season, the Steelers wanted to make an appearance in the community. For the past 25 years, the Steelers have gone to Carmichael's to play a game of basketball, and tonight was no different. Hundreds of fans from across Greene County welcomed the players to the court. The pros did not disappoint, making many highlight reel plays. However, the Carmichael staff, including Chase Johnson, was accepting of the challenge and was not going to go down without a fight.
A little bit harder than what I expected. Some things up. But like I said, I mean, it's the Steelers. We expect them to come in here and win and beat us. But it's all for a good cause.
At halftime, Steelers players took time with the fans. The fans had a chance to meet and get autographs from some of their favorite players, including Charlie Batch.
It's always a fun event. You come out here, get a chance to meet all of the fans, and of course raising some money. So this is what it's all about. So that's why you see a lot of people come up here year after year.
The Carmichael School District did many things to try to raise money. There was merchandise for sale, concessions, and raffles at the event. All within good fun, many of the athletes had some interesting wagers with the children in attendance.
It was a friendly bet with the kids. If they made a 3-point shot, I would do 10 push-ups. If they miss it, then pretty much they had to do their 10 push-ups. So it was all in fun. And at the end, of course, I missed, and I had to do my push-ups at the end of the game.
Overall, the event was a success. The fans and the players from both teams had a great time while raising money for charity. For WCTV News, I'm Hugh O'Neill.
That's all for sports. I'm Mitch Montani. Brandon Rossai is next with your weather forecast.
There are little things that you can do to help you when you're driving a car, but the one thing that you shouldn't do when driving a car is texting and driving. In fact, at any given time throughout the day, approximately 660,000 drivers are attempting to use their phones while behind the wheel of an automobile. And 11 teens die every day as a result of texting while driving. According to the National Safety Council, 25% of all automobile crashes are related to cell phone use. Don't text and drive.
Welcome back to Channel 14 News. I'm Brennan Rossai with your 5-day weather forecast. In case you missed it earlier, the temperatures will finally start to feel like spring. Today we've got some sun into the nights where the moon will shine like a diamond in the sky. Tonight's low is 41. Tomorrow will be the chilliest day of the week, but keep in mind that the temperatures are still hovering at around 60 degrees. At night, the low reaches 42 with clouds moving in. On Thursday, there's some good news and some bad news, depending on who you talk to. The bad news is that we've got clouds all day long. Luckily, there's no chance of rain, but that's not the good news. The good news is it's time to bring out the Frisbee and JC, get the hammock set up, and hang out with some buddies because it's going to be a toasty 77 degrees. Also at night, you won't be freezing when walking back to your dorm on a moderate 57-degree night. It'll be cloudy, but at that point, you're not going to care too much because it's almost 60 degrees. And on Friday, the highs dip slightly at 69 degrees, but instead of hanging out in the daylight, you're going to be running for shelter. It's a steady rain in the morning and into the afternoon. Quite frankly, I would be stunned if the baseball team plays Friday at Westminster. Thankfully, the rain will wither away on a 50-degree night. This weekend will mostly bring showers starting Saturday night. But before that, we're getting partly cloudy skies during the day. Again, it'll be 65 degrees, but it may not feel that way with the 20-mile-per-hour winds coming our way from the west-southwest. Might want to hold on to something. The rain won't roll in until after midnight on Saturday, with the low bottoming out at 45. And on Relay for Life Sunday, we're probably going to get terrible weather for a second straight year. 90% chance of rain steadily flowing in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we'll have rumbles of thunder, which probably will scare off the local populace. Sunday night has some on-again, off-again showers with a low of 42. And like I said, unfortunately, we may have to look at Relay for Life in the Rudy Marisa Fieldhouse for a second straight year.
That's unfortunate, but it's still fun to come together for a good cause. Hopefully, Mother Nature will push off that rain and we'll be able to get outside.
Fingers crossed.
We're hoping for it. But anyway, thanks for tuning in to this special edition of Channel 14 News.
We hope you have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
This has been a production of Waynesburg Community Television.